Hello and welcome. I hope that you are doing well. Thank you so much for joining me here today where we're talking books. And today's book is Theo of Golden by Alan Levi. And it's a heartwarming book that explores the themes of kindness, connectivity, and truly seeing other people. And I've heard a lot of good things about this book, so I was very excited to read it. If you like heartwarming and uplifting fiction, this may be for you. It all starts when an older man, Theo, of the title, arrives in Golden, Georgia, and he falls in love with a coffee shop. But even more than the coffee, he likes that on the walls of the coffee shop there are portraits of community members. So the owners of the coffee shop talked to an artist, and he took pictures of people in the coffee shop and then made a portrait of them, and they're hanging on the walls. Theo is sad, however, that very few portraits are with their rightful owner. So he decides that he is going to buy portraits a few at a time and then gift them to the subjects of the portrait. When he is about to give someone their portrait, he contacts them, they meet, and then they talk. And some of the conversations go so well that they end up being friends. And a few don't go that well. Theo has secrets in his past, and he doesn't like talking about himself or his past, even when others ask him outright. One of his new friends, the bookstore owner, tries again and again to get Theo to reveal something about himself. But Theo always gently turns the attention back on the bookstore owner. Theo of Golden is a heartwarming story, but like life, it includes some darkness. Near the end of the story, the mystery of Theo's past is revealed. Things to like about this book. The characters were real, and I liked and cared about them. They honestly felt like friends. It takes place in a close-knit community, but don't let that fool you. There are some serious things going on in the lives of the community members, and some very serious problems. As far as the plot, there's a lot going on in the story, and for the most part, it will keep you interested. Things I didn't like as much about this story. There came a point when the book just felt like it was getting long and a little preachy. I'd rather an author create a story that shows me that being kind is better, instead of having a character in the story repeatedly say that it's better to be kind. The reveal of the secret is underwhelming, and the secret I think was obvious from pretty early on in the book. And while I enjoyed this book, I feel like it's overhyped. With everything I heard about it, my expectations were pretty high, and I thought it was going to be so amazing. So what can you read for a similar experience? And here we're talking about uplifting books you might even find better than Theo of Golden. First, I will suggest Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. So there's a lonely widow whose son has disappeared. To keep herself busy, she works nights cleaning the aquarium. And she loves the quiet, and she loves her work there. And in the aquarium, there is a giant Pacific octopus called Marcellus. She and Marcellus grow to have a close bond. Also, there's a 30-something young man who joins her in working at the aquarium, and they too share a bond. So it's an uplifting story of friendship and hope. Next is Anxious People by Fredrik Backman. You've heard me talk about this before, but it is that good. I love this book. It's quirky and it made me smile. An attempted bank robbery turns into a hostage situation at a real estate open house. But when the police arrive, the bank robber is nowhere to be found. You'll love the witty banter and the deep connections that are formed between characters in the story. And one more to mention, and that is My Friends, which is also by Fredrik Backman. And it's the story of a friendship in the past that inspired a painting. That painting inspires a new artist in the present, and friendships are formed along the way. And there we are. I hope that you enjoyed talking about Theo of Golden and other uplifting uplifting, and heartwarming books. We're going to choose one more book for this month, and let me go see what I can find. This one was a pretty easy pick. So our final book that we'll be reading this month is one that was just released, one that I've wanted to read since I heard it was going to be released. The Ending Writes Itself by Evelyn Clark. And Evelyn Clark is a collaboration between the author V.E. Schwab and the author Kat Clark. And since I try to read everything written by V.E. Schwab, I am very excited about this. So we'll return next week when we talk about The Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Boulet, and the following week when we talk about The Ending Writes Itself. And of course, I'll be back later this week with more poetry. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you enjoy all that you do and all that you read. And thank you.